Silence their phones, please. Steve, people turn off their phones.
Okay, will everybody please turn off their phones?
Also tell them to look to the.
Oh, yes. Okay, so the format is we're going to have each elected official come up and speak for 4 to 5 minutes. Then there'll be a few minutes of questioning. Eliana over here is going to have your timing, telling you how long. When you're asking questions, please, everybody, ask a question. Don't give a speech, because people around you want to hear what the electeds have to say rather than your speeches. No offense, but it'll move quicker and people get more opportunity to hear our electeds if you do it that way. So our first speaker, our current Congressman, Brad Sherman, has been here for what, 20, how many, can you count him? A long time. He has been serving mostly the Valley, Sherman Oaks, et cetera. But then a couple of years ago with redistricting, he got us, and we've been happy to have him because he's been very consistently present in our community and a great Democratic spokesman. So, Congressman, come on up.
Hello, I'm Brad Sherman from America's best named city, Sherman Oaks. And it is an honor to be back with you again as I'm here year after year, whether the Palisades was part of my district as it is now, or in the years when it wasn't. And Steve, great seeing you. Judy, thank you. I come to this home so often, you could charge me rent. And it's great to be back with you. You folks, the rest of the country has lived through one giant disaster, and he's orange. You have lived through 2 simultaneous disasters. And we've got to do everything possible to rebuild the individual lives, but especially to rebuild the community here in Pacific Palisades. And I'm glad to have a team of folks. I know Ben Allen will be here, I think, soon. I saw Jackie Irwin. Oh, there's Ben. Hey. And then, and of course, Tracy Park should be here a little bit later. And so we're all going to work together at every level. And then my other partner is Judy Chu, and we are working to try to get a supplemental appropriation so that the amount of the FEMA grants and the SBA loans is increased as it has been for other disasters. Now, with me here is Scott Abrams, who heads our constituent service office, and Sam Seidel, who works in that office. I want to put in a pitch for their work. Imagine a federal agency makes a mistake. It could happen, could affect you. You call Scott. He works very hard. He solves your problem. And then I, Brad Sherman, take the credit. For that to work, you need our phone number. That's why I put it on the comb, and that's why I don't hoard the combs for myself. I'm proud. We have helped literally thousands of Palisades and Malibu residents deal with FEMA and deal with SBA. But there are people who still need our help. Contact us today, contact us tomorrow. Now, I got something, believe it or not, better than combs. We have placed out copies of the United States Constitution. He can try to take it off the internet. Every family needs a copy. Now, I am a progressive Democrat. I have 100% rating from NAACP, Human Rights Campaign, Planned Parenthood, AFL-CIO, Brady Campaign, League of Conservation Voters. I went to Congress to pass Medicare for All, Green New Deal, Women's Health Protection Act, the Assault Weapons Ban, the Equality Act, wrote the bill to try to say we can organize unions without right to work, and I'll be introducing the bill to regulate pharmaceutical prices nationwide. But right now we have to play defense. We're dealing with a shutdown, and we've got to make it plain that this is the Trump shutdown, that we do not celebrate it, but we demand that healthcare be restored for the people on Medicaid and continued for the people on Obamacare. Next year is the most important election of our lives, because if Trump were to win the House again, this will put him on steroids. We may not have another election after that. And so the most important thing is Proposition 50. And we are all I'd like to see independent commissions and have sponsored legislation to have independent commissions nationwide. But this time we've got to respond to Texas and Missouri. And I done something particularly for Prop 50. They came to me and they said, Sherman, as you know, the crypto industry is after you. They spent $45 million against Sherrod Brown. They hate you more than they hate him. And we may have to give you some new constituents, people who don't know you, people who with millions of dollars might be convinced to vote for somebody else. And I said, you know, they've gone to local officials in my district and offer them $5 to $10 million to run against me. They've all turned them down, but they'll find somebody in Washington and fly them out here. They'll have somebody. But I said, no. You do what you need to do to make George Whiteside safe. You do what you need to do to make sure Julia Brownlee never has to worry about a Republican again. And I will rely on my grassroots support. And if I have 200,000 constituents that are new, we'll go on out there and we'll tell them that I'm the best looking member of Congress. So thank you very much. I hope to have your individual endorsement. I hope to have the club's endorsement. You have known me for so many years. You know my faults, but I still hope to have your support. Let's open it up for questions.
Questions? Oh, excuse me. Stand up.
Second to read. Make it a question, honestly. Why does it seem that Ken Martin and the new leadership of the Democratic National Party seem completely incapable of reestablishing solid communication with our historic base in this country?
It is very rare that the head of the DNC, someone that many people here couldn't even name, is the head of the party. Our leadership in Congress is there. Our leadership in important states like California is there. I wish we could get Barack Obama back out there, because he is the one Democrat that the entire country can get behind. Until then, we have a disadvantage. In the British system, they have a shadow government. They have an acknowledged leader. They don't have primaries. And so whatever issue you say, well, this would be the foreign minister of the other party. We don't have that, and we've never had that. And we always we're going to have a giant fight in 2028 as to who our nominee is going to be. So we don't have the unity. We have a diversity of voices. But right now, we need to unite behind the message about this upcoming shutdown. It is Trump who refused the meeting, called the meeting, canceled the meeting. Now he's going to have another meeting where he's not going to do a damn thing. We are on the side of health care for Americans who need Medicaid or Obamacare. And they are the side that says, oh, we're going to have a continuing resolution that keeps the government funded. Oh, and you need 60 votes to pass that. And after we get those 60 votes in the Senate, we're going to have a rescission that only needs 50 votes, and we're going to cross out all the Democratic priorities while keeping ICE on the streets of America. So we have got to stand firm. This is the one opportunity we have to save healthcare and to demand that if we reach a deal, they have to follow the deal. They need our votes to pass the deal. They shouldn't be able to erase parts of the deal without Democratic votes in the Senate.
It's just that, exactly. It's close to you. Sorry. Yeah, it's because they're so close to each other.
Okay, well, then.
I'm gonna turn off my microphone until you ask the question,
Perfect.
and then I'll ask you to turn off that.
Right, I'll speak loudly. So, as an individual, many of us are, not an elected official, feel pretty powerless to do anything except give money. And I know that this is gonna sound unusual, but why am I going to pay federal taxes? I don't want to. I want it organized so that we don't, but I don't seem to get any support when I talk to people about it. So because for us, we want you to do more. You're not doing enough. I'm not, I don't know what you can do. I'm not criticizing you at all.
What is your question?
My question is, why am I going to pay federal taxes to a president who is a dictator? Okay.
That's a tough question.
That's my 30 seconds.
The short answer is that if you don't, they're gonna add interest. Oh, the question is, why should she pay her taxes when it's federal taxes, when there's a Trump government? First, the majority of that money will be spent legitimately, but those soldiers out on the streets, the ICE folks, yes, that's funded by the federal government. We do have an IRS. We do have penalties if you don't pay. They may eventually collect more from you if you don't pay than if you do pay. And Trump will be in the White House through 2028. So what I can say is that there are plenty of ways to get involved other than donating money. And grassroots headquarters is right back here. I'm with them again and again, organizing so that we get people on the phones and on the streets to pass Proposition 50. And it's not just passing it. We've got to pass it by an overwhelming majority and make a statement to the whole country on the same day that New Jersey voters are voting for a Democratic governor and Virginia voters are voting for a Democratic governor. A huge victory in California. Public opinion, as demonstrated at the polls, will reduce the harm. But the harm doesn't stop until 14 months from now when we win the big election.
Why do I need a license to cut someone's hair, but I don't need a license to be a journalist or put something out as news?
Nice.
That's interesting. Let's put it like this. And the question is, why don't we have a license for people to be journalists? And my short answer is because Donald Trump is president and we know who he'd give the licenses to, and we know who he'd take the licenses away from. There are many, many times when you look at a problem and you say, God, couldn't we just have government make reasonable decisions and have government officials decide what's reasonable and what isn't? Which news stations are acting in the public interest and which ones are not acting in the public interest, and which journalists are saying facts and which ones are lying. And the problem I have with that and giving that kind of power to the federal government is we have an orange guy in the White House. And if government were making that decision, every journalist that you'd give a license to would lose their license, and every journalist that you wouldn't want to give a license to will have a license. So the sign says time to say goodbye.
And we're closing in.
And we're closing in. Thank you very much.
Congressman Sherman.
Thank you, Congressman Sherman. It's always a delight to hear from you and hear